when I
case to prove, that I'd rather have less experienced people performing our job because it provides a better service to the community. I think you need, more often you would say that the person who's been here longer is probably.
Seniority and experience are not synonymous. You could be the most senior employee and you could figure out a way to get no experience over your years of service in any organization.
Well, and especially if you always bid, you select the least challenging work, then you're definitely not going to.
But I would expect people with the most seniority to have a level of experience that, when matched with the least senior employee, is a good combination. That's why I don't like situations where seniority, results in all of the senior employees working in this group and all of the least senior employees working in another. So not only that's the other effect of that is you end up with
typically desirable, such as a Monday through Friday work week, and you want to start telling people, well, I need you to work Saturday because I need you to mentor and or train these new hire employees, the ones who don't have the experience. Again, now we're getting into, okay, well, what do I get for it? What am I getting out of the fact that you're using me as a training, a component of training for your employees? Do I get some sort of incentive? Do I get a trainer's pay? Do I get lead pay? Do I get something? And that's something, where just because a person is senior, they shouldn't be penalized either. And saying, well, you're such a good worker, I want you to train all these new people coming in. Well, gee, thanks a lot. That means I'm stuck working next Saturday, for Saturdays for the next 2 years. And I don't think that's fair either. So, again, there's a solution for everything. I don't think there's anything that can happen that hasn't been thought out somewhere. So what's our what can we do to move forward with Section 4?
You should look at the department and division chart. You should figure out where your members are, and you should ask your members about what works, what has been working, what doesn't work, what they want to work with respect to, the selection of whatever you want them to select.
Yeah, why is it that, and I'll do that.
And while you're doing that, we're going to sort of do the same thing. I'll probably take your proposal and suggest that it be sent to department heads with a note that says, if we agree to this, your role as a manager would be a lesson because the people that work for you will select what tasks they want to do. How's that sit with you? And get their feedback on it. And then we could put those two things together and see if they match up. We could get division heads that will say, let them pick their jobs. The jobs are all the same. We could get a division head that says, I can't let them do that. I can't have all the most senior people working on X and everybody else doing the other stuff.
And you can also get the one that says, I don't agree, I don't want them to, I want to be able to do it.
Yeah, we could have that too.
It's like control. So.
All right, well then, we're meeting next week to discuss this further. Are there any other questions about the rest of this? Did you have a chance to review it all?
No, of course not. We only got to Section 4.
So that's
We didn't even talk about 1, 2, 3, and the rest of it.
It's all good stuff, just sign off.
I see a narrative on layoff and recall. What's the gist of it, essentially? Put it in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, if you're going to displace somebody.
Oh, yeah, okay, never mind.
Oh, sorry,
I found the nutshell. Okay, I got it. I see it. Yeah, it is. You have both cross-department and cross-division bumping lights.
Oh, brother.
That's D, right?
We don't have anything on the horizon, but
Sorry, what was that?
I said, well, we don't have any layoffs on the horizon.
Yeah, me
because
too.
That's a nightmare.
Nightmare for you.
Yeah, well,
It's a nightmare if you
You know-
don't want to, give somebody a fair shake.
I think we were more than fair without the layoffs that we did. Don't play the fair
Ask
card.
him, ask
That's
him.
what I was-
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you still employed or
Yes, but
screwed?
that's what I was just gonna ask. How did
We
you,
didn't kick him to the curb.
How did you
He
s-
was put,
Forced them down
my,
the road.
my question is, how did
You know,
you service
a
the
lot of other
county
places
when you
just
laid
let the
off a
person go.
25-year experienced employee and hired less than a
Yeah,
6 month?
We've
How
gone
did
through
you,
this before.
how did you service the county?
Just fine.
You did.
Yeah.
The 6 month employee that you hired is already gone because he couldn't do the job.
I
don't know
would
what-
agree with you 150% on your first layoff. When the very first layoff you had, I agree with you 150%.
What year was that?
2007?
How was it done?
Seniority.
And if,
Totally.
That's why I didn't respond. Because I don't know what he was doing.
I didn't respond either.
I know,
Gesture.
I don't know.
got laid off.
And I still,
But you're another one, didn't you
I still didn't
find
get an
out-
answer to my
didn't you
question.
find
I know
out?
these- I know the
You
people that-
the
I know
people
the-
that are still working here are bitching about layoffs.
I know the people that,
That's what I said.
$5 cut in pay?
look, I know
$5
people
cut in
with
pay.
least seniority are not your priority interest, even though they're in the bargaining unit.
They are. They all are.
Let me finish, John, okay?
Because
Because I
something
want
that's incorrect, and I just can't sit there and listen to something that's
Well,
incorrect.
you're
Well, the whole
really-
concept of
People with least seniority are
seniority.
not my priority.
Yes, because
They have less-
the way you
Everybody in the
push
bargaining
seniority.
unit is my
Let me
priority. Because
give
you know
you-
what? The junior person who's junior today, a year from now is gonna be a little less junior and a little bit more senior, and 2 years from now is gonna be more senior, and that's the reason why the system is so fair.
Right.
So
Well,
of
let me
course
give
they're
you the
my
real
priority.
world example that I've just dealt with somewhere else, which was a system that was heavily weighted to seniority, so that instead of having to lay off one person with more seniority that had been with this particular municipality a long time, the city had to end up laying off 2 employees further down the list. So 2 employees and their families were impacted
That's my problem with bumping.
with giving priority to the seniority.
I don't know.
That's a tough
I'm not
situation.
even going
But under
to-
that scenario, servicing that municipality, isn't the senior man servicing that municipality better than the 2 lower?
The senior employees stayed.
But
That was a fact.
I'm using we
But
are here to
cost
service the
savings-
public.
The cost savings that was sought through the layoff was required to be 2 people instead of 1.
Okay, well, you either had the ability to perform that job with one person or you did not. It's not you, the municipality. That's the $100 question.
No,
So
it
if
was
they're
the
able
bumping
to perform-
component, John. It was the bumping component.
Which
that-
is
that
what we
created-
talked about.
Regardless,
What-
at the end of the
last
day, you're
time,
gonna
bumping.
decide how many people you need to work, the employer's gonna decide how many people you need
No,
to
the
work
dollar
for.
It's
amount.
not the number of people, it never starts with the number of
It's
people.
Then you
dollar
go
It
to-
starts
amount.
with how much do we need to save. That's how
That's
layoffs
why
begin.
bumping results in more people being laid off. And that's why we're against
Yeah,
it.
that's the only
We had
reason.
this discussion last time.
Yeah, and I disagree with you the last time just as much as I do this time. You either have a need to have 100 employees or you don't.
No, you
If
need
you
to
only
cut
have
a
a need to have
certain amount.
98 and you lay 2 people off, I'd say that makes good business sense. If it's all you need is 98 employees, I get it. So now,
Well-
if the person that you're laying off has to displace somebody, okay, and that person is displacing somebody to keep from getting laid off, at the end of the day, by the end of the shuffle, by the time it all filters out, you're either still gonna have 98 people or you're not. And I understand you gotta spend a little bit more, but the person who's in classification 1, 2, 3 is now coming down to classification 3, 4, 5, and 3, 4, 5 is a lower paying classification. He's gonna take a reduction in pay. And so where is the budget deficit? You said I don't know anything about budget.
You even
I
don't.
think I understand simple economics. I do. So, regardless, let's just, you got something to say, Tom?
We're just concerned with the layoffs. Our whole department was put in a layoff pool. I was here 21 years at the time, and I thought it was totally unfair. Yeah, I got to keep my job, but I had to go through an interview process. I had to get a physical. All I heard was the county had no money. Physical costs money, people got raises or promotions, whatever you want to call them, 5 to 7.5%. I didn't get anything. I thought it was just totally unfair. And then I was told, when I called personnel, I said, I'm retired military, I'm retired from Florida Air National Guard. Is that going to count toward points for me to get my job back? They said, no, because we're laying off your whole department. It's like the county went around everything they could.
They did a reorg.
A reorganization that we had no say in. It didn't work, in my opinion. It's not working now.
It's not working now.
It's not working. I'm still doing, basically, I was supposed to be doing carpentry, plumbing. I'm still doing air conditioning, which I'm grateful for. I'm not a plumber. I'm not a carpenter. It didn't work. We had no say whatsoever. That's one reason we're here. 21 years here, and you basically shoved me to the curb. I'm retired military. I've been to foreign countries to fight for people's rights, for freedom of speech and all that. What freedom of speech do we have here? You open your mouth like I do sometimes, and I've been told to my face by people hired in my department, you're too opinionated. That's why we're here. At least you have to listen to us now. It's really disturbing, it really is. 21 years, and you just shove it to the curb? And some of the people that, and I don't know,
And I'll tell you the truth, it is not. Everybody that was reorganized in facilities is doing the exact same job that they did 4 years ago.
I told them before, I will never be a master carpenter like some of our carpenters. It's not my thing. Yeah, I can do basic carpentry, but I was trained, it took me 20-something years to learn air conditioning, to be competent in it. We don't have
You
one
change
word
from
for what
AC
happened.
tech.
I'm telling you, Margaret, it's not working. And what's going to end up happening, and I brought this
I'm
up
still
on how many
doing
times,
electrical work.
it's going to, I hope it doesn't, but somebody's saying they open up a 480 panel, and even though we've had a few
How come?
classes on it, somebody, I hate to say it, I hope nobody gets hurt, but somebody could get hurt. I mean,
Well, they told, facilities is talking about, they have a proposal about training the maintenance techs so that they can move up, you know, if they're one, they could be trained to become a two. It's
not
not
happening. I don't think it's,
Right.
you know, when you move up, somebody
That's something they have
leaves or
proposed in the
passes
budget.
away or whatever, that's how you.
No,
get it.
no.
I mean, I understand what
No,
you're
they,
saying.
what they're proposing is you get the training and you move up once you're trained, whether or not there's an opening.
They told us that's not, whether, they said the only way you can move up is for somebody to retire or quit.
They talked to you about the new
No, they said,
proposal?
well, they said no, because they said there is no way. They told, all we've been told is the only way to move up is if somebody leaves.
But when did they tell you that?
That's what they've been telling us all along.
Okay, but did they tell you that they have a proposal in the budget?
No,
It hasn't been approved, but that's what they want
they
to
haven't
do.
told us nothing.
No, we haven't.
Well,
It hasn't been approved.
And the whole
yet,
problem,
but
okay, the whole problem with it is, you've got a tech one, you got a tech two, a tech three, a tech four. You take people that are not an electrician, I don't care. Andrew Baxter could sit there all he wants and tell me you can train somebody to be an electrician in 3 sessions. And you know what? I'll tell him he's out of his mind. You're gonna kill somebody. If not the person sticking his hand in that panel. Because I had one guy put his hand in the panel, I was trying to train him. He had this hand in his panel, like this. I said, hey, get out of here. He said, I know what I'm doing. He kept going. I said, you done electrical work? He said, no, but I know what I'm doing. I backed off. I said, you want to kill yourself? Kill yourself. I'm not going to be a part of it.
Well, I don't know, you
It's
guys can
crazy.
get away with that because over in lift stations and utilities,
You would have to be licensed.
well,
But-
that's why they pull a lot of guys that used to do all their own panel work and stuff, can't do it now, it's gotta be a licensed
It's gotta be
electrician.
licensed.
Well, how are y'all
They
getting
did
away
it
with
when
that?
they took the tech workers and changed it to tech workers, they took the licenses out. You still have to
Well,
do
there's
it,
a law in the state, man, I'm telling you.
but not for the county.
No.
County
They did
doesn't-
it. They did it
The
in
county does
utilities.
not have to get permits.
Yeah, they have to get licensed electricians.
No, they don't.
Well, maybe it'll come that way, you guys, I don't know, they did ours.
And a lot of times you spend all of these years taking these training sessions, working your way up through the ranks, and after 25 years, they pull the carpet out from under you. So what gives the lower employees the sense of any kind of security when they want to work their way up through the ranks?
Well, I gotta take classes every 3 years to keep my license.
Can I call a caucus for like 5 minutes?
Well, we have 3 minutes to go.
Well, just give me one last
All
one,
right.
I'll come back in for one last
Yeah.
one. Regarding duration and wages, and I just wanted to clearly communicate the union's proposal with respect to those two topics or issues. It's almost June, May of 2013 right now. Obviously, the fiscal year begins October 1, and so we're trying to figure out, what would be a logical term or duration of the agreement that would make sense. And we just feel that a 24-month agreement plus whatever preceding October 1, 2013 would work for us. So if we were to ratify this thing next week, I guess the expiration date would be 9/30/2014. 15. Okay, 9/30/2015. So it gives 2 full fiscal years and whatever's left in this year. And our proposal for wages of $1 an hour increase would be effective immediately upon ratification. And the second increase would be on 10/1/14 for an additional $1 an hour raise. So it's a 24-month plus agreement with 2 $1 increases. The first being effective upon ratification, the second one being effective 10/1/14.
Well, we would want the agreement to begin 10/1/13. There is no appropriation available to pay on $1 an hour or any other per hour increase in this current fiscal year. And in terms of the termination date, I think 10/30 is a good target. 9/30/15 would be a good target, but until we get the details of what that is.
I know, I'm just, before you read the details of what the agreement is.
Yeah, what the agreement is.
I know, I'm throwing out there, you asked a fair question last time, how long are we looking for? And that's I thought that you're entitled to a more solid response, and that's what it is.
Okay. And do you know my response to that?
Yeah.
If the start date would say 10/1/13.
Well, I don't understand how you can define what the start date is if we're still in negotiations. I mean, theoretically, we can get this thing wrapped up sooner than then. Are you implying, suppose we got it wrapped up in September, you're saying that we can't start the contract until October 1?
I'm saying that with respect to anything that has a fiscal element attached to it, 10/1 would be the date, not now.
I understand I just wanted to make sure that I don't agree with that. I understand that you're not opposed to possibly making the effective date of the agreement sooner than 10/1/14, but you don't believe that there's going to be any increases available until 10/1.
I think, just simply for implementing whatever we do, be it monetary or otherwise, it's more realistic to look at 10/1/13 than, as you say, tomorrow, because it's not happening tomorrow.
If the agreement's not ratified prior to 10/1, then I agree. But what if it is? That's all I'm saying. I just don't understand how you can, what value it has determining what an effective date is when we're just still in the throes of bargaining.
No point debating that right now. But we don't have, it's a hypothetical.
Okay. That's all I wanted to.
So, as you know, the board is trying to do a 3% across the board. You're not looking at that. Instead, you want the $1.
Well, we understand that's what they're, offering or talking about, kicking around, but our proposal is pretty simple.
You want more? Okay.
Our proposal is $1 an hour.
It just seems inconsistent to me. You criticized us when we suggested a uniform value for a holiday, that all employees would be treated the same. But now your proposal on wages is a uniform $1 per hour for everybody. Notwithstanding whether that represents 0.5% or 10% based upon current wages. So That's kind of inconsistent. I'll go with it and we'll think about it, but.
We've given a reason, if you've forgotten the reason for that.
Oh, I remember your
What is
reason,
it?
but I still
What
think
is
it's
it? What's the reason?
inconsistent.
What's the reason?
It's a starting point for, everybody needs to be adjusted upward, you're gonna go from there.
Well, it's more than that, it's just that we're trying to, because that's not what the point is. The point is that 3% to a lower dollar an hour rate employee, 3% doesn't help things.
So
But it's also a pay
represents
cut.
125% increase on holiday pay for some people.
Okay, but it's a pay cut for others, right? For our dollar an
Never
hour
disputed
proposal,
that.
it's a pay increase for everyone. So I don't see, it's apples and oranges. You're talking about cutting some people's pay, and we're talking about giving everyone a raise. Big difference. All right, so we're still on for next Thursday, right? Can we start doing something to chip away? I know I will. This seniority department division then between now and then. So when we come back next Thursday, we may have some.
Yeah.
We're off Monday. I don't think I'm gonna get answers. You know, I could propose the questions, but,
All right. Well, I
Yeah.
could possibly get what of it put
Yeah.
together before then. I have to. I don't. Knowing that you can't do anything, then I'll try the best I can with what I can find on it. I mean, if you can send me an organizational chart via email, that would be helpful. It'll save me a few minutes of hunting one down.
When, don't want to ruffle your feathers on this issue, but do I need to scan and send you the org chart, or could I send you the link to the county webpage if it's on it?
If it's the same thing, you can just send me a link.
Okay.